stab you. You stab me. Dancing fool. Justice be served. It's like being a sharp and a blade. It's another thing to use it. We love each other, though. Twice if I were you. It's one thing to sharpen a blade, it's another to use it. It's one thing to sharpen a blade, it's another thing to use it. Here's your last chance. Do you take it? Or do you forgive? Or do you take it?
This is Amelia Duran. Got to jam out in the beginning a little bit there because I got to give time for people to, start joining the chat. Welcome, Lisa. Hi, Jacob. Thanks for tuning in. Today on the Porthole to Justice, I have guest Lala Fox. And, That is Zeph Daniels, of course, and you can check out his music on the Anti-NWO Tunes page on Facebook, where I post links. So, yes, today my guest is Lala Fox, and she's been featured on Victorious Libertas live interviews on YouTube. You can look her up, and she's got incredible story targeting fraud on the court, and they have actively begun black vaulting her documents on Google Drive. So, no further ado, let me get my guest. Let's see, one ringy dingy. Oh no. Oh, hi, Lala, are you with me?
Oh yes, I'm here.
Awesome. So I started, I want the guests to hear kind of, your whole story, as well as, what's currently going on in your case. But you're kind of new to my audience, so I did a short introduction. But welcome to the Porthole to Justice.
I am honored to be here, Ms. Duran.
Oh, thank you. Well, it's very casual. It's kind of off the cuff, and it's the window to the truth. So let's hear.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I should warn all viewers right now, all listeners right now, I am not known for having a filter, so pardon me for not having one. In my humble opinion, the system doesn't deserve a filter. In fact, that is how they've been able to pull off this crap for well over 20 years that I have firsthand knowledge of, is by filters and secrecy and keeping everything low-key. And you know what? No, they don't deserve it. Yeah,
they don't. Then they don't deserve a shame or a guilt. You have fraud on the court, and that's something that I, in the Porthole to Justice, I'm always interested in. And you have gone through incredible amount of targeting.
Yes, ma'am. Like, incredible amount. I'm actually currently on probation right now for retaliation for publicly exposing and proving this fraud with their own court documents.
So
the petition used to take my children, folks, till this day has never been signed by a judge and never been filed with the court. There's numerous discrepancies upon the petition that was given to me 4 years ago by CPS worker Anthony Gencott and the true copy that I got from the courthouse file, which of course I was smart enough to get it true copy stamped and initialed by the clerk. And I also was smart enough to get this unsigned and unfiled and doctored petition on video, how it sat in my court file. So I've made 100% certain they cannot even go back into the file and cover up everything.
So before we get into the cover-up that's going on and the black vaulting on Google, before we get into all of that, start from the beginning with your story, and in which involves you have 3 boys, beautiful boys.
Yes, ma'am. And I think we should respectfully probably take it even farther than that. As a child survivor of this myself.
Yeah, you're a former you're former foster. You're a former foster child, correct?
I'm actually from the generation before foster children. I'm actually a member of the lost generation. I'm a part of the generation where they stole children from their parents and locked them away in long-term kids' mental facilities. And in the process of this, because we were in state-run mental facilities, they were able to force psychotropic drugs down our throats because we were in state custody. We were under the age of 18. We could not refuse these drugs. And if we did, we got beat the hell out of, put in 6-point restraints, given shots of Haldol, Ativan, and Thorazine, sometimes a mixture of at least two of them. They also put us in a room called the Quiet Room, abbreviated QR, and this really may as well have been prison-style solitary confinement.
Wow.
It was a 6x6 room, brick wall, hard floor, metal door, with a sliding deadbolt on the outside, a slit to slide a tray of food through the door, and there was a little sliding window in the door that they could look through. There was no toilet in here. There was no tub in here. There was no bed, no sink. There wasn't shit in this room.
Okay, well, we're a family show, so let's try to watch the expletives.
There wasn't anything in here. It was prison-style solitary confinement. And if we had accidents, like if we urinated on ourselves, pooped on ourselves, or even vomited on ourselves from the medications we were forced to take, we were forced to stay in this room longer. Mm-hmm. First time I was ever placed in it, I was 5 years old. I went through intense, severe physical, mental, emotional, verbal, and sexual abuse in these facilities. And honestly, my current psychiatrist said it best in the eval that he did for me for my latest sentencing. I like how he put it, so I'm actually going to say it how he put it. I'm just looking for the eval. I can't find it for some odd reason. It's up on my thing here. Nope, that ain't it. It's here. Well, regardless,
you're going to be posting your evidence in the portal to justice.
Oh, I got it.
Oh, okay.
I got it. He said, growing up, patient has no confidence that the Presque County judicial officers and law enforcement officers will treat her fairly and honestly. Her upbringing and treatment in the state of Michigan youth mental health centers have resulted in her inability to trust the majority of governmental entities. Growing up from the age of 5 to the age of majority in an environment where there was no consistency between and among caregivers, and where child mistreatment was common and well documented. So my own psychologist, Stephen Mino, put in his own eval that he just did on me on December 26th of last year. He's put it right out there, folks, that I am, in fact, a survivor of severe child abuse at the hands of our Michigan mental health system beginning in 1990 at just 5 years old. This is what our system has really been doing to children for decades.
Now, would you say this is why you're targeted? Do you think initially that this is why you've been targeted?
Yes. It took me 22 years to beat Macomb County in court. I've done a few interviews with Victoris Libertas. I've handed you the latest one. Mm-hmm. Well, in that interview, I actually show the court papers proving I beat Macomb County on December 20th, 2012 for my guardianship, which is not easy to do, people. When you have a state-appointed guardian and you're going up against the state to win in court, it's not an easy thing, especially when you're looking to win your own freedom. You have to literally prove you are more competent to take care of and raise yourself and your family more than the state is. And I was able to do this in one court hearing that lasted 30 minutes flat with a file I built just as thoroughly as I built this one for my current lawsuit. I built that file too.
And you've done an excellent job, by the way, documenting. I'm very impressed. And and it's taken a toll on your health. These court cases. I lost, I saw you on this morning on Facebook Live, and my heart went out to you because I actually lost during my court case because of stress. I lost my teeth, 2 of my teeth. And it was like, I was so upset about it, and I could relate to what you were saying.
And I am literally about to lose all of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I am 89 pounds, people. I will not deny it. I have always been a small person. Usually I weigh between 95 and 105 pounds. But the stress of this fight for my children has caused me to lose weight too, which is exactly why my teeth I'm now losing, because my body was taking nutrients from my teeth to survive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Actually, that's what happened to me during my case. Was my enamel was like on a couple of my teeth. And I take, your teeth are your teeth. It's not easy.
They're gone. You can't get them back.
No. Mm-mm.
It's something else that the state of Michigan is stealing from me, has stolen from me.
Mm-hmm. Your health.
My childhood.
Yeah.
They've stolen my innocence. They've stolen my freedom. They've stolen my kids. They've stolen my life. Mm-hmm. And I'm pun intended on that one, because they actually have. I've been dead from one of the psychotropics that they forced down my throat. I died in 1997 from risperidol. I was 12 years old. I went into a seizure and went straight from a seizure into cardiac arrest. I have ever since then been living with tachycardia. Mm-hmm. So I've actually been dead because of these people. They've tried killing me again. The latest attempt was 2 years ago. I was extorted to take psychotropic meds while my son's case was still open by the worker. My same psychologist that did my eval is actually going to be testifying to that in federal court.
That's not uncommon.
Violated 2 court orders to force me to take pills.
Yeah, and it's not uncommon that they use this tactic to not only vaccinate and drug the children from the trauma, but also the parents. And they dangle this carrot. If you cooperate and you attend these mental health services and take these drugs, we will maybe give you your children back, right?
Oh, no, that's not what this woman did. Brace yourself for this. This woman, 3 weeks before, when they stole my youngest from the hospital bed, and my attorney has confirmed they stole my youngest as well, because they took my youngest based on my older 2 being in foster care, but my older 2 were there because they were removed with a petition that was never signed by a judge and never filed with the court. By the way, folks, this means by law there was never a case open on me to begin with. Never, because they have to sign the petition and it has to be filed before any further action can take place. This means I never should have saw the light of day of a courtroom. That I never should have even had my kids taken. And the worst part is all this stuff didn't even start with me. It started with my ex-husband. He got caught red-handed in April. Well, before we go into that, I should disclose that 6 weeks after I won my guardianship, CPS randomly showed up at my hospital bed after I had my middle son, Frederick. And they didn't even ask me who I was. They just walked in nonchalantly and said, Mrs. Little, we're here to take your child because you smoked pot while pregnant. I look at this worker and I said, first of all, how do you know who I am? And second of all, how did you know I was here? Because I hadn't lived in the area long at all. I knew no one. I knew nothing. There was no way on earth this woman could know.
Well, they now a lot of people don't know this, Lala, but they now have CPS workers on staff in hospitals now. And they have a national database.
Well, here's the problem. The worker admitted a call was made. Except I knew no one in the area. No one. And it was proven a lie within 15 minutes because I told the worker to go look at my medical chart and tell me where at did I pop positive for THC while pregnant. I'd love to see it. 15 minutes later, she apologizes to me and tells me I'm taking my baby home. 3 weeks after that occurs, Dr. Douglas King has the balls to try to accuse me of starving my newborn son. And that actually resulted in him getting fired because an upper GI tract test done on my newborn son proved he had severe GERD, and I was able to undisputedly prove I took my newborn to Dr. King not once but twice in 2 weeks' time trying to get him treated for GERD, and he refused to treat my newborn son altogether. So he got fired because he got caught committing medical neglect twice over on a newborn baby and trying to cop a false allegation on me to cover it up.
Wow.
No sooner did that case get closed, the case on my ex-husband and his lover got opened. And this dumb fool actually was stupid enough to tell CPS that he beat his lover's kids with broken arrows, hammers, and belts. This is not a joke, people. I have this on court papers. I also have a copy of his plea of no contest. Till this day, he has yet to be arrested. He has yet to be jailed. And he has yet to be criminally charged for what the law defines as 3 counts of first-degree child abuse. Instead, they offered him a deal, told him if he pled no contest to it, they wouldn't open it in criminal court. They would open it in civil family court. They ruled me innocent of any involvement and gave me my kids. Well, they're supposed to leave me alone after that, correct? No. Instead, they court-ordered DHS supervision on me. Wait a minute. The fact that you just gave me my children says you have no probable cause to court-order anything on me. The FBI has, in fact, confirmed this case never should have been held in this court. It was held in the wrong court. The FBI has seen everything that I'm telling you now. And then some. Mm-hmm. I walked out of this meeting that I was personally invited to with the FBI, by the FBI. The FBI themselves. And I sent you the screenshot of the emails proving that. They personally invited me out. Well, for 2 years, for 7 months after he got caught, they continuously came into my house trying to pop me with false allegation after false allegation after false allegation. And I have numerous witnesses ready to go to federal court and testify to that. And they ended up eventually so mad that they created that fraudulent petition that till this day has never been signed or filed to take my children. They put me through hell and back. And 4 months after they took my kids, my middle son, Freddie, was almost killed in foster care, and I was able to prove this in the court of law. It was proven in court. The foster mother that had my children was a registered nurse. She admitted that she admitted my son was broken out in hives from head to toe for at least 2 days. I presented pictures in court of my son of these hives on him had broke out so bad, they began turning into open sores on his face. She admitted she did not take him to a doctor. She did not take him to an ER. She did not take him to a walk-in. She admitted she didn't even give him Benadryl. Instead, she just continuously pumped amoxicillin down my 13-month-old son's throat to the point he showed up to a visit in the middle of anaphylactic shock. Fortunately, the visit that day that was set up just so happened to be at a doctor's office for his 1-year wellness check appointment I'd set up 1 month earlier. Fortunately. Otherwise, I would have been holding a dead baby. You would think after this that they would give me my kids. No. CFS, Child and Family Services, admits in court they have nothing on me. Zero. My home's fit, everything's fit.
Did you file a grievance report at any time regarding the placement?
Oh, I totally complained about it, and no one would do anything. I didn't know about grievance reports back then, but we got it on court record. The only complaint they had with me at this very same hearing that I've proven my son was just almost killed in this foster home, the only complaint they had on me, I didn't have a driver's license, but I had reliable transportation. Wait a minute.
Unbelievable. It never ceases.
They just admitted out of their own mouths in the courtroom.
Yeah.
They don't have squat. Please explain to me why instead of Judge McLennan placing my kids back with me, which obviously was the better and more safe situation, because my son almost was just killed in the foster home, he placed him right back into that very foster home that was just proven in his court to have almost killed one of my children via medical neglect. But 8 months later, they move them. And, here's the reason why they move them. It was discovered the foster mother had cancer. And that the cancer was known about since before she got my children. Wait a minute. So it's acceptable to move my kids from one foster home to another because the foster mother who almost killed my kid is dying. But it's not a good idea to move them 8 months earlier when she almost killed my kid. So if she's dying, they move them. But if my kid almost dies, they just put him right back in there. What?
Yeah.
Oh, I ended up having to leave that meeting. I ended up having to leave that one. I looked at this woman, I said, how dare you? How dare you think your own life is more valuable than that of my son? You're what, 50-something years old? You've lived many years. My child was 13 months old, and you almost killed him 8 months ago. I was like, I need to get out of here before I break her neck.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to lie. I was that hot. I was that hot. I had to leave. I left that meeting. I walked right out. But the question
and then they recommend anger management services.
No, not to me. They didn't. No. They never recommended that for me. They did for my ex-husband, though.
Sometimes they do that because, parents often lose their cool, understandably. And sometimes...
Well, it wasn't me they ordered it on.
But they do that sometimes, as it's like, let's pour some more alcohol in the wound.
And this whole time that this case is open, they're admitting outright, I am 10 times more of a fit parent than my ex-husband is. Yet, they're making sure he gets community and home visits, and I don't. Like, this man's been busted committing 3 counts of first-degree child abuse. He's admitted to it, but he gets community and home visits. He's been busted with no food in his house for 6 months straight, but he gets community and home visits. He's moved to 5 different residences in less than 2 years, where I've stayed in the same residence and been here since December 2012. I'm living in the same exact home that they've stolen my children out of, folks. I've been living here the whole time. Yet he can't keep a place to save his life, and they're giving him community and home visits. He's been busted abusing me, but they're giving him community and home visits. There was just, even my ex-husband himself called out the bullshit. He said, you guys have admitted she's 10 times more fit than I am, and yet I'm getting community and home visits. He's like, if I'm qualified to get them, there's no way on earth she's not.
And it's not uncommon. I hear it all the time. I advocate on cases, and very often they favor the abuser in the case.
And that is what they did here, and my ex-husband even called them out on it himself.
Wow.
The whole drugging me, it was flat out extortion. When they stole my youngest out of the hospital, my youngest son, Gideon, the worker her first complaint was, my home was not fit. Very first thing she said out of her mouth on the stand. Proven a lie less than 5 minutes later, and she admits she lied. We go from that allegation to, Miss Little doesn't have everything for him. What do you know? 5 minutes later, that too is proven a lie. She admits she lied again. So this worker's been busted lying twice within the first 10 minutes of this hearing to take my son. So then she jumps to the whole, she's going to be breastfeeding and not taking pills. Judge McClendon saw exactly what she was trying to do. He asked me, why was I wanting to breastfeed instead of taking pills? And I gave the honest answer. Scientific research has proven, beyond a reasonable doubt, that to breastfeed my child is not only 10 times better for my child, but it's 10 times better for me because I'm 10 times less likely to get postpartum depression if I breastfeed my son than if I take medication. Judge McClendon asked the nurse sitting next to me, oh, yes, I didn't even go to the courthouse, people. I'm in the conference room in the hospital. We're doing this hearing over teleconference. And he asked the nurse if my insurance would cover a breast pump. She checked. She said, yes, it would. And right then, he placed 2 court orders down. 1 court order for me to breastfeed. The other court order was for me not to take psychotropic pills because they would go into my breast milk and thus go into my child. So at this point, I'm court ordered to breastfeed and not take medication. Court order. He also court orders me 7-day-a-week visits with my child, which has never in the history of this court ever been done. No one's ever gotten 7-day-a-week visits with their kid out of
did CPS honor these visits 7 days a week?
Yes, they did. He made it quite clear they better honor them. They were even bitching. They're like, oh, they're not open on the weekends. Judge McClendon looks at them and says, I don't care. You want to rip this baby away from its mother, then you're going to give her 7-day-a-week visits.
Cool.
Oh, yeah. McClendon got mad.
That's great.
And I'm pretty certain he's not the one who's pulling the strings because, as I've just disclosed, there were decisions he did not want to make in this case that you could tell he had no choice but to make. But because he made them, I have no choice but to sue him. Someone else was pulling the strings behind this. And I'm pretty sure it was Macomb County. After all, these attacks did start on me 6 weeks after I beat them in court. And I had to change the venue from Macomb County to Presque County to do it. And Judge McClendon was the very judge who presided over my guardianship case and gave me my win. In fact, he called it a travesty.
Wow.
My attorney at the time for that guardianship case was Daniel E. Martin from Sheboygan. He actually declared that my guardianship case was so horrendous it should have been on the front page of the newspaper. Because he'd never seen anything like it. These attacks on me by CPS started 6 weeks after I won. So I'm pretty sure this whole time I've been retaliated on by McCall. That McCall put me hit. I just can't 100% prove that. I have enough circumstantial evidence to prove it.
Yeah, you can't yet.
But not solid.
Yeah. They retaliate.
3 weeks after the judge court ordered me to breastfeed and not take pills, I'm sitting in my therapist's office, my psychologist, Stephen Mino's office, for my therapy session. And Lord and behold, I get a text message from CFS worker Julie McAllister-Lazier flat out telling me word for word, as long as I do not take psychotropic pills, she will not give me visits outside of the building. Yes, people, you just heard that correctly. Never mind, the judge just court ordered me 3 weeks earlier to breastfeed and not take pills.
Yeah, that's
because this very same worker was trying to force pills down my throat.
They do. They try to, set you up and manipulate you, and they get state actors to try and contrive situations and dissuade you from following court orders. I've seen it.
And now this woman has just extorted me to take psychotropic pills, despite 2 court orders. She didn't just say, screw 1 court order from a judge. She said, screw 2 court orders from the judge. My therapist read this text message, and he lost it. He said, she cannot do this. This is extortion. And I'm like, well, clearly she is. I had to set up an appointment with my doctor, with the receptionist, and they originally told me I was not going to be able to get in to see Dr. Sarah Miller for over 30 days. I looked at this receptionist. I said, I cannot wait that long. I am being extorted as we speak. And before you call me crazy, go in the back and speak with my therapist. Well, it went from over 30 days later to 4. 4 days later, I'm in the doctor's office seeing my doctor, Sarah Miller, who's no longer my doctor because she's transferred out of that office, and I can't say I blame. First thing she says to me when she walks in is, let me see this text message. I hand it to her, and her face goes flat and turns white.
Did she delete it?
And she looks at me, and she's seen it. She read it. She said, I am so sorry. She cannot do this. I'm like, well, clearly she is. So we ended up putting me on gabapentin and Celexa. And that gabapentin ended up giving me an adverse reaction of depression. So it caused me depression. Now, because I'm forced to take these pills, I also have to quit breastfeeding my child, which resulted in me getting postpartum depression. Then, plus the depression of all my kids not even being home, I ended up taking 15 of them. 15 gabapentin, and I almost died.
Oh, my God.
I went to Point East in Alpena, which is short-term mental health treatment. I was there for a week. My girl, Amanda Benton, was there with me. And I didn't know it at the time, but she was standing outside the doctor's office door when I was speaking with psychiatrist Dr. Paul T. Rajashekar. And he actually ruled that this was a straight-up assassination attempt. He said, you're allergic to lithium.
He ruled it?
Yes.
Wow.
He said, you are allergic to lithium. Neurotin is lithium's cousin. It is no surprise to me that you had the same reaction from Neurotin, or also known as gabapentin, that you did from the lithium. I'm allergic to lithium for the same reason. It causes depression instead of helping me.
Wow.
And he said there's no way on earth this woman did not know what she was doing. She does not have a license in psychiatry or psychology to even be forcing you to take drugs. And she violated not one, but 2 court orders to extort you to take these drugs. He said there is no doubt in my mind she did this intentionally.
Mm-hmm.
And my therapist, Stephen Mino, is also ready to testify to the same thing.
So you have so much evidence, and I know that you've said you're going to post it in the comments under your mem in the Porthole to Justice, but they are actually actively right now, currently, black vaulting your evidence on Google.
Yes, they are.
That's incredible.
I found this out, actually, by accident. I went to open up my complaint to the Attorney General that I had submitted June 29th of last year, and I had, of course, obviously scanned it into my laptop and uploaded it to my Google Drive. Well, I went to open it there, and they black vaulted it. And then I found out they did this with several other documents. This occurred after I went to go see the FBI via personal invitation back in December. I went and saw them December 27th. I walked out of that meeting with an outright apology from the FBI. They actually apologized to me, word for word. I am so sorry. You are going through this. I cannot imagine the pain you are living with. They complimented me as well on how meticulous my documents and paperwork trail is. They also told me that if my attorney is as good as I say she is, I cannot lose. And the fact that I'm sitting with the very same attorney Detroit mother Mary Ann Gabboldo had. And for anyone who doesn't know who Mary Ann Gabboldo is, she is a Detroit mom who is now in heaven, God rest her soul, who had a 10-hour standoff with CPS, the cops, a SWAT team, and a tank.
Yeah.
You heard that right, people. A tank.
A tank.
They brought a tank to this woman's front door in Detroit, all because she refused
to medicate
put her 13-year-old special needs daughter on risperidol. Wait a minute. The same drug that killed me back in 1997?
Mm-hmm.
You're bringing a tank for that? She's protecting her child. I don't blame her one bit.
Yeah.
Allison Fulmar, attorney Allison Fulmar, which is the attorney I have, took Mary Ann Gabboldo's case pro bono. The reason why this standoff stopped is because they told Mary Ann they weren't going to take her daughter, so she stopped the standoff. They not only took her daughter, they placed her daughter in the Hawthorne Center, which I know that place quite well because I spent from 2001 to 2003 there, so I know the place well. And they put her immediately on risperidol. So they instantly drugged her up. And Gabboldo got slapped with 8 felony charges as a result of this standoff. Allison Fulmar got all 8 of those felonies dropped. The child was removed out of the Hawthorne Center, removed off of the drugs, and placed with Mary Ann Gabboldo's sister. We lost Mary Ann last year to a brain aneurysm, and it was confirmed the brain aneurysm was caused by stress from the state of Michigan, more specifically that of prosecuting attorney Kim Worthy, because she kept trying to appeal the case on Mary Ann, and the appeals courts kept denying her appeals and can we say rightfully so?
Mm-hmm.
They abuse their power entirely by bringing a tank.
It's so egregious. It's so egregious and such an abuse of power. You know, we've lost, I think, total of 4 parents this year. Last year, 2017, in the porthole to justice, due to the targeting and the manipulation and all of the, we lost Shannon Baskin, God rest her soul.
Pride, too.
Yeah, and we lost, Angel Pride. Yeah, Pride. And, I have serious concerns about that case as well. I mean, it was so contrived after she passed away. And the Daily Haze I actually removed a journalist from the network that I have due to the way that they reported on the Angel Pride case. I thought it was really disrespectful and very shallow. And I was hugely disappointed, and, even if some of these parents have history of drug abuse, which they do, but some parents can go through recovery. And, these parents, these children need their parents.
And more times than not, their drug abuse starts after their kids have been taken. Exactly.
Thank you very much for saying that. So, yeah, it's rough. I mean, this isn't an easy thing to do or to try to sell to the public on my end and market, because so many people...
Actually, believe it or not, I've actually been accused of substance abuse countless of times throughout my whole life. Until this day, it's never been proven I have one. I'm actually
I want to say in your defense, Lala Fox...
test out as part of my probation, and I've passed every last one of them.
You originally started submitting content to the Porthole to Justice almost a year ago. And I'd like to say, in her defense, I have been observing you for almost a year. And she's very articulate. She's a little pocket rocket. She's smart, highly intelligent, and she is not on drugs. And I commend you. I'm actually really impressed how you documented your case and how you're going about, and you're fighting it and you're not giving up. And so I've chosen to take the position to support you. And I am always very cautious. I've
also done something that has never been done before as well. Yeah. I set myself up to be retaliated on. As you well know, when I did that video interview with Victor Libertas exposing the fraud documents. Everyone thinks that I wasn't expecting them to come after me. Fraud docs, get ready. They're going to come after me like holy hell, high water. And some people
Ryan is an admin. Joking. Ryan is a good friend of mine.
Yeah. A month later, Lord and behold, I was arrested for a Facebook post.
I know. I saw that. She filmed it, folks. When she went to when the police came to her home, she actually filmed it. We should post that to the port as a little bonus to your testimony.
Oh yeah, that was visit number 2. They came to my door. That one conveniently, that's the only trip to my front door that they left out of the incident report. That's the only one. But then again, I'd leave that one out too.
Well, I was actually, your case was actually referred to me by Ryan Swindle, so you can thank him for.
Thanks, Ryan.
He's a great advocate. He really is. He means well, and he's an admin in the Porthole to Justice. He's a very good friend of mine. And, he was telling me, come on, Amy, you've got to do this story. And I'm like, I don't know. I gotta I'm one of those type of people. I have to observe for a while because I don't like to jump the gun. And then, I'm so protective of the Porthole to Justice and the parents in the Porthole to Justice. And it's my baby. And so...
And you know what, Amelia? Would you be surprised if I told you Ryan and I originally did not get along? He was actually one of the people that thought I was dead wrong when I said they were going to come after me for exposing that fraud. He's like, they're not going to do it. I said, yes, they are.
Yeah.
And sure enough, 3 trips from the cops later, all over Facebook posts. Trip number 1, I shut down. Trip number 2 is the one that I recorded with Deputy Budnick coming to my door and threatening me because I put a post up exposing an MDDHS worker putting her kids around a sex offender.
Well,
wait a minute, aren't you at the wrong house? And wouldn't you know, that sex offender currently has allegations on him right now.
Well, bless Ryan's heart, because, you know, he's a real trooper, and he takes a lot from the movement. He takes a lot of guff because of who he is.
After I was bailed out of jail. As soon as I was bailed out of jail, he actually made it a point to get a hold of me, and he said, I am so sorry, I did not believe you.
No,
he's like, they came for you hard. He's like, you weren't joking either.
Guy.
I was like, you think I didn't know they were coming? I was 85% ready for that retaliation.
Yeah.
Tony Knightley is another good advocate, another good one. And he's even put it out to the public that what I did, he does not recommend newbies doing at all. Because when you are being retaliated on, if you are not ready or if you make one wrong move, game over. Game over. And I had 85% of everything ready for the hit. I was just waiting for them to actually do the hit to execute my other 15% of plans I already had built up. And Tony Knightley has even said he has never seen anyone handle retaliation the way I did. Did I know full well I was going to be found guilty at that trial no matter what I did? Yep, sure did. That wasn't my goal. The judge even confirmed I walked out with the bigger win. Because my true goal was to get that fraud petition on court.
Uh-oh. What? I think we got cut off. Let's see. Well, okay, I'm going to end the call, and then I'm going to call her back. Incredible story with Lala Fox, and I'm going to have her back on the show several times to give us updates, because she's now officially a member of the Porthole to Justice family, and she's just me back. Hi, can you hear me? Lala?
Yes, I can.
Okay, we lost you for a second there. Drop the call. I was just telling the audience that I'm going to have you back for several segments. I usually do hour segments. I try to break it up.
I figured we'd at least finish up on the whole plan of retaliation.
Of course.
Before we ended the show. What I did here was, I knew I was going to be found guilty at that trial no matter what I did. That was not my concern. My concern was getting that fraud petition for my son's case on court record. Because I had instantly realized that whole time, that petition sat in my file. And it was never addressed in court. So no one ever knew about it. So did I know they were going to come after me? Yeah, I did. I wanted them to. I knew I wasn't going to see the light of day of another family court. My kids are gone. That leaves only one court left that I could get that fraud petition on court record in now, don't it? That leaves the criminal court. And sure enough, I executed that plan perfectly. The judge, they listed both the clerks and the judge, the very judge that handled my son's fraud case. The clerks admitted in court was the one who filed the complaint on me. And
the clerks filed the clerks. I'm going to send this audio to Lotus Justice because, And you're
going to laugh at this, Miss Duran. They first wouldn't offer me a deal. Then as each week went on, as you know, I was doing live videos, leaking out more and more evidence I had on them, proving the retaliation. Well, I did it so well that Judge McClellan removed himself and his one count off of my criminal case 10 days before my trial, and he made it a point to not tell anyone he did this till 2 hours before my trial. Now, folks, why would the same judge who filed this complaint to get me arrested, who also happened to handle my son's fraud case, remove himself and his one count last minute? Let me tell you why, folks. Because he knew he was about to be put on that stand. And once he was questioned about that fraud petition, there was only 3 ways he could testify to it. Number 1, tell the truth. Oh, yeah, that's not going to happen. What judge in their right mind's going to admit to fraud upon a court in a criminal courtroom? I don't know one, do you?
No.
Option number 2.
And something I just want to tell you, I'm so impressed with you, and you're miraculous, but there is no statutes of limitation for fraud on the court. So I just wanted to note that.
Not. And any ruling made as a result of fraud is automatically overturned, and that is both per Federal Rule 8, people.
You're so sharp.
Option number 2 this judge could have done to testify about this fraud petition.
And add Rule 11 to your case as well. I can't. Yeah.
Except I had a copy of it sitting right in the middle of the defense table. Bye-bye lie. He would have been busted committing perjury and fraud at the same instance. The only other option he could have done is plead the 5th, which we all know pleading the 5th means if I testify, I will incriminate myself. So in other words, to plead the 5th is just to confirm he committed fraud. So he literally removed himself and his one count off my case because he ran, because he knew and realized he thought he laid a trap for me.
So
when I had laid the trap for him. He didn't run fast enough because they tried challenging my findings on this petition at my trial. And I pointed out, not per the Michigan court rules. The Michigan
so you've
court rules
really over the years, you've really smartened up to all of their tactics, and you're 10 steps ahead of them. Literally.
I grew up in the system.
This is why I love targeted kids that are out of foster care. I've had Cheyenne McQueen on the show, and you would absolutely adore her. I've adopted her as my own daughter, actually my goddaughter, and she grew up in the foster care system as well. And she did something similar to you. She's so smart. She's an advocate and an activist as well. And she's in the Portal to Justice. Cheyenne McQueen. She's great. She's great.
That would be Randy's daughter, correct?
No, incorrect. No.
Okay, not Randy's daughter.
No. Oh my gosh, she's an incredible story, Lala. Look up in the archives on Spreaker. Portal to Justice.
You know what? Better yet, refer her to me as a friend.
Yeah, you guys need to be friends for sure, because her story, oh my gosh, during the radio show, it was so awkward because I could feel her uneasiness with sharing her story. It's so painful. I
don't blame her. Everybody fears retaliation in this movement, as they should.
She was placed. Her parents passed away, and she was placed in a foster care placement with a police officer, and he was molesting her for years, and nobody was doing anything. And when I guess finally he was caught red-handed with her on his lap, and he committed suicide. I mean, it's just a time of exposure, and it's just such an incredible her story She is such an amazing girl, and she's studying law, and she's a advocate for the children and the other foster brothers and sisters that she had growing up in group homes. But I mean, her story. So, well, listen, I'm getting. You know how you're doing your shows and they're really good, and people start calling you. People start calling you
right
1-800 numbers, random numbers. Yeah, no, yeah, this has been a great show, and you're now officially a member of the Porthole to Justice family, and we're going to be following your story, and I'm going to make it so you can post, and we can all track your efforts in the courts.
As of now, I'm just I'm playing the waiting game right now. As you know, I've done everything I can. Currently, I have to wait till my attorney for my lawsuit has everything done up to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I'm so confident in you, and I know you're a fighter. I'm just worried about your health, and I just want to make sure that you're going to be healthy, and I'm going to be sending you a care package in the mail, and, we need you around to keep fighting.
I'm going to tell you this, Miss Duran. I fought this state for 28 years. They've killed me once. I've come back from the dead. They've tried killing me countless more times, the last time being 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. There ain't a dang on thing these people could do to me that I'm not already expecting. I've already submitted my affidavit of truth over to the FBI. I'm waiting for murder. As you already know, I sent you a screenshot of that, too.
Yeah.
I'm
speaking out and going public, is the best thing that you can do for yourself and for your children in these instances. And it's the whole reason why I created...
Many people in this movement fear retaliation.
And it's the whole reason that I created...
I am not afraid.
It's the whole reason...
I have nothing left to lose. This state has took all of it. As I said earlier,
your childhood, everything, your children.
They took my freedom.
Absolutely. And that's what they do.
They took my life.
And they expect you to crawl under a rock and live in shame. And this is the whole reason why I created the Porthole to Justice platform, is for people like you to speak out and share your story. And I think you're fabulous. I want to have you back on the show. And
I'll gladly do it.
Yeah, and in the comments...
And when I say they took my life, I don't just mean killing me as they have. The life that I'm currently living, this is not the life I wanted. I wanted to live my life raising my children. This is the life I am forced.
Well, none of us, we all feel that way.
Exactly. And that is exactly why I am enlightening people. Do not fear retaliation.
Yeah. Stand up for yourself.
Okay?
Stand up for yourself.
Come.
Yeah.
I do all of this because I have nothing left to lose. They've stolen me. They've stolen my kids.
Well, we're a community, and you can expect a lot more support and comfort in the Porthole to Justice. I hope you post your evidence in the comment section under your memes for people to read and research, and putting it out there for people to see black and white. It's all the difference, and. Where there's so many warm and talented people. Like I said, Ryan Swindell is one of them. And, everybody really cares. And it's so awesome. And we're changing.
I not only dealt with the retaliation, I found the perfect way to deal with the pain. I have helped others now get their cases closed and their kids returned.
Wow, really? You've reunited families?
Yes, I've actually helped at least 10 families.
That is awesome, Lala. Let's get some of them on the show. let's try to book some of them on the show. Send me some references, and I love to hear testimonies of reunited families. That is my favorite. I think you're awesome, and I support you.
I have attorneys out of state calling me or hitting me up, asking me for my assistance with cases they have.
Yeah, because you're so articulate and you've documented so thoroughly.
As attorney Nicole Williams from California says, psychology is second nature to me, unlike her. That's what she says. She's like, if there's one field that's second nature to you, it's that one.
Well, that's what a lot of this does. It creates empathy, and it creates a hypersensitivity.
And the reason why I know psychology as well as I know it is because during my childhood, I was forced to see so many different psychologists. It wasn't even funny, and psychiatrists too. You really think that in order to survive, I didn't have to learn psychology? I was in places worse than prison, people.
And she's still speaking out and fighting. Yeah, Lisa in the chat room says that she loves happy endings and she wants to hear some of the families that you've reunited, and I would love to hear it too. So, Lala, I want to have you back on the show.
I'll gladly do it. I'll see if some of the families I have helped would like to be on the show as well.
Need your...
They might not out of fear, but they might.
Well, sometimes if you still have an open case, if you're listening in and you still have an open case, depending on the content of the case, because each case is unique and individual.
Well, as you know, all these ones have a case that is closed.
So I am all for going public with closed cases. Yeah, I fully support going public with closed cases, and we need to hear those testimonies and how they've overcome the targeting and the CPS, and how they became reunited, because that is what those that are still in the trenches need to hear.
And what I do to help parents is I give them case laws they can use. I give them defenses they can use. And all the while I do this, I do inform them. I am not an attorney, but take what I've given you.
Well, your ability,
9 out of 10, they see it for what it is.
Your hypersensitivity that you've developed, and your ability to document is such a powerful tool in itself for these parents, because that's what they lack. When you're in it and you're in the trenches and you're traumatized, you need somebody there to assist you with documenting and witnessing and, really compiling and organizing everything. That's what an advocate does, a good advocate. And
I always tell parents all the time, look at your own documents that they give you, because 9 times out of 10, all the evidence needed to win and take them down is within their own documents that they give you. And parents do not ever look at these. A lot of them don't.
Yeah, you can use their own stuff against them, and that's what I do. That's exactly what I do. Yeah, I love it.
Guess what? Exactly what they're doing, and they're banking on you to not look, because they're banking on you to think, oh, they wouldn't be that stupid.
Yeah, well, and not only that, they're counting on you. They're counting on you to feel ashamed and not say anything or speak out or reach out to people.
I built my case all on their own documents. It's all their own documents, people.
Well, Lala,
it is sick.
Lala, we're running out of time, and I'm but
it's all good.
And I'm so sorry. Like I to be continued for sure. I mean, this is
and I'll gladly do it again. And again.
You're one of those special phenom ladies that I just love and I adore. And I've been watching online for, like I said, for at least a year. And I'm really proud to welcome you to the Porthole to Justice. And
did you see me have to tell people to stop calling me the Rosa Parks of the family rights movement? That got annoying. That got annoying. When I got out of jail, I found it an insult.
Oh, really? Really? Why?
Everybody was doing it because they were putting me on Rosa Parks' level.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool that they're doing it, but at the same time, it sucks because I go to events and people know who I am. I go to events to enjoy myself, not to be bombarded by the general public.
Well, that's what comes with speaking out and putting yourself out there. And it's funny because, I consider it an honor, really, to be viewed. I consider it an honor as well.
Especially considering everyone considers Nancy Schaefer the Martin Luther King of the family rights.
You're so cute.
I understand people are also kind of, in a way, putting me on the level of Miss Nancy Schaefer herself. You know what I mean? Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks were the two biggest heads. And I consider it a compliment. I consider it an honor. But I had to shut people down calling me that. I said, if you really can put me on that kind of level, give me a name of my own.
We're all only human, and I'm not on any level. I'm actually here to serve. I'm here to serve the people like yourself. I'm here to serve people like yourself and people in the movement.
Do that, give me my name. And thus, Michigan's 89-pound pit bull was born.
Well, thank you so much, Lala Fox, for coming on the Portal to Justice. I am honored, and I think you're doing a great job. I really do, and I'm watching.
I have no problem. I love to help. This system needs to be destroyed.
It does. It's time. This is what happens when you have a government agency with no oversight and unlimited funding. It's only natural that it has to be destroyed at some point and rebuilt. And that's exactly what we're aiming to do. Lala Fox, thank you so much for coming on the Porthole to Justice.
Thank you for bringing me on the show.
You are so welcome. I'm honored. Everyone, we're going to be having Lala Fox, Lala Little, as a featured guest on the Portal to Justice in the future. And you can tune in on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Lala, stand by. I'm going to talk to you a little bit after the show. Tune in next Tuesday. I'm going to be having on Philly Slim. And he's going to be talking about the father's rights, and he is an amazing rap artist, and I'm really looking forward to that interview, and I hope you guys tune in and join me. Anyways, you can contribute to the Portal to Justice on Facebook. There is links there, and you can support our content. Really, really appreciate it, because we're zero-based, and it's not easy. Anyways, this has been another episode of Porthole to Justice, Window to the Truth, off the cuff with Lala Fox. Everybody, join us again, and thanks so much, Lisa and Jacob Schaefer. Thank you for tuning into the show. Have a great day. Okay, stand by. Hi, guys.
I'm so sorry. Your phone's
That's
been
okay.
up.
Oh, my gosh. A little bit behind the scenes stuff. All right. Everybody, love you. Thanks so much for supporting the Portal to Justice. Tune in again.